about this grant that we have. It's about 20 pages. This is all in Microsoft Word, and we're using the Dream Hub to handle that. So over here, we're in our Dream Hub. It starts you out always on the home screen for this. I'm just going to take people from the very beginning so they can see just, how we navigate things. Looks like I lost my place. Let me go back to the very beginning. So I'm essentially working in just 3 tools today. I'm going to be working in OneNote, I'm going to be working in the Dream Hub, and I'm going to be working in Microsoft Word. And my goal is to get quite a bit of those 20 pages written. Okay, so in here we have the requests area. We go to distant learning and telemedicine. And this tells us all the information about this. And let's say I don't have that OneNote. To get to that, I would go down to the plus button, I'd hit the OneNote button, and that's going to pop up our OneNote that we've been working on since about Saturday the 7th. So today's the 11th. I've had about 5 days total on this project. And here's all our notes. So Rhubarb helped us write one of these pages. I think this one, grant writing. I think this is the only page she was working on. So there's some notes in here. Okay, and I don't think we need this area right now, but essentially we have a deadline of 4/10, and that's a whole month away from today. Here's our application deadline or ID for it. And then we also have in the related documents area, if we go to documents here, let's say that I don't have the document open. You go to related documents, and then we have one in here called the technical proposal. And we are getting far enough along in this that we then need to start treating this as the actual docket file, not as the file here. But for today's point, we're going to be working inside this rough draft area before we actually send it over to the docket team.
Okay.
So if I click on this, you might need to open the location to open that up in SharePoint if you can't see this file. So let's go ahead and open the location. That opens all these documents in SharePoint. Exact same documents we just saw. And here's the one that we want, the technical proposal. And I'm hitting these dots here, and I'm going to say open this in my app. I want to use the desktop app. And open. Now, if you don't have the latest version of Word, the Office 365 version of Word, if you don't have that version, then I recommend that you keep your notes just in OneNote and let your other people on your team use the actual Word version.
Okay.
Okay, so what we have on here is all of our technical information, and this is a real project. This isn't a sample. These are our real numbers, our real emails, all of that. So essentially we are doing find acronyms. No, thank you. A distant learning in the Mid-Ohio Valley. And we already put our logos in down here for our partners. This table gets automatically updated, so we're not really going to worry about it. But what we are going to do is come down here, and we're going to start writing the text on each of these sections. So if you want to go ahead and open up, how do you feel on the content writing? Do you want to help on this, or do you want to watch?
At the moment, I'm still learning, so I prefer to watch.
Okay. So essentially, we copied and pasted this from another proposal. So there's a lot of stuff in here that we just don't want to talk about. Like this one's talking about the Middle East and Northern Africa. But this particular grant is only for it's only for the Mid-Ohio Valley. So it doesn't make sense. Even though our organization does that, it just doesn't make sense to talk about international stuff. We're going to change our narrative here so it's a lot more local, but we still want to let people know that we're strong enough on an international scale. Okay, so we're going to go through from that, and how all of these are laid out we put together our summary at the top of who the entire company is, and then we pick about 3 different points. And we call these points our causes or our transports. So this is a transport, this is a transport, and this is a transport. And we're limited to 20 pages. You can see we have 20 pages total. And we never really want to go over 20 pages, but we also don't really want to go under 20 pages. And we spent the past few days gathering a lot of research on this.
Right.
So you can see all the research we have. And I feel pretty confident, not only the research, but we put together a lot of data maps. We came up with this guy. We took this stuff from other material. And all of this stuff we took from different material, all the photos. So we're very happy now with all the photos we have, and we're even happy with where the placement of them are. But we're just not quite happy with the text that we have in there. And I've been a writer for a very long time, so how my style is probably going to be different than how other people's styles are. And that's for a few reasons. One reason that makes me very strong in writing is that when I was a kid, I read literally thousands of books. And I think the more that you read, the better your vocabulary is going to grow. My dad was an author. We just had a lot of writing and narrating in the family. So if you can get a lot of exposure to that, this can be a very long-term goal to be able to do what I'm going to do today. And if you want to know, well, what kind of books you recommend, I have a list called Goodreads. So if you go to Goodreads and you look up Matt Hackney on Goodreads, you can find a list that we have on here. You can find in the bookshelf, we have the Move Recommends. So here's a list of about 100 books that we have recommended. And we're living in YouTube culture right now, where everybody just goes on YouTube and they watch silly movies, they watch funny videos, they watch a lot of cat videos, and you're not going to become a very good writer when that's the kind of literacy that you expose yourself to. You really should read these books that are at least 50 years old, or read books put together by, great literature writers. So yeah, read that stuff. In addition to that, practice makes perfect, and I'm writing in here every day. I'd say I write 10 pages a day minimum for the past 20 years. Some days I might write 50 pages. On a slow day, I'll write 10. And today is probably going to be a slow day for me. I'm going to hit about 10 today because I haven't written yet. It's already 11. So we have all of this data, and data is really going to help you too. The other thing that we were going over yesterday is what's called the 5-paragraph essay. And we do set this out like a 5-paragraph essay. We will talk about an introduction. We will have a few samples in the body, 1, 2, 3, and then we will have a conclusion. And how we will do that is on each of these pieces. So this smile space, we need to build an argument for why we need a smile space. And the way that we build that argument is with a 5-paragraph essay. So over here, we're going to use 5 paragraphs. We're going to have an introduction, and then 3 points as to why, and then we're going to have a conclusion. And it's going to take us, since we also add photos in there, it's going to take us about 2.5 pages to get across our 5-paragraph essay for that one particular section. So not only do we have a 5-paragraph essay per section, but this entire proposal could be called, a 5-point essay. Because our first point is that, this is our organization. Then we have second point, third point, fourth point. The 5th point overall for the entire thing is just our summary at the end, where we wrap up all of our evaluations and our fiscal strategy. We just summarize that we're great at this. So I'm zooming out here to show this on a more grand scale. So once again, we have the first point is that we are the Dow Learning Institute. we're very successful, we've been around for a long time, and we know what success looks like. So that's just our summary there, and we're very niched into this STEM literacy category that matches this grant very well. Then the next piece is this little section, and that's going to take up 2.5 pages. It gets over 1 page, 2 page, and then it ends right here. So it's actually 3 entire pages, and that is one 5-paragraph essay. The next one is here, and it goes page 1, then we got some photos for it, and then here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3.5 pages, but a lot of it's just photos. But photos are okay, they really tell a story a lot. After that, we then have the last section that we want to talk about, which is innovation and Instar. So you can see we have some scientific stuff down here, scientific logo. So that starts right here, and it goes 1 page, 2 page, and then it stops. All the rest of these pages are talking about, they're the end of the summary. It's wrapping it up and saying, it says a timeline and strategy. I don't know if you guys can read that, but in the timeline and strategy, this is our last point. So if we go back up, remember we have summary, point 1, point 2, point 3, then a conclusion. And if you forget what that looks like, go look at your 5-paragraph essay outline note, and look, you have an introduction, point 1, point 2, point 3, conclusion. And on the conclusion, we're kind of bragging about the beautiful timeline that we have, that it's all laid out. We're using this 5 C's of education model, and then we're going to break it down and give very technical details into our financial approach, into our evaluation. How are we doing analysis to know that this stuff actually works? So one thing that I don't like about this ending area is I want a very analytical photo here. So I'm going to go grab that really quick before we get into the actual writing, because I'm looking at this on like a bird's eye view. I really like everything. I'm not really feeling this photo over here that much because we already have it down here.
Right.
So I think we're just going to, I'll keep it over there and I'll delete it over here. Okay, so it's gone over here. But now that this is so wordy, I'm going to go back online, and I already have in mind what I want for that. And if you're just the content writer, then don't do what I'm doing. But I'm overseeing this whole project. Okay, so I just want a cool photo that shows some of our statistics. I think this one looks cool.
There's a downward slope.
Well, that's because it's the current month.
Oh, okay.
You don't like it because it's downward? And I don't even know how much I'll use of it. And it might not look good once I take it into this document here. So we were somewhere around here. Okay, that might not look bad.
Yeah.
But I actually like if it's more busy. So I'm going to look at some of the other pages on here. Product usage. Like maybe all 3 of those combined.
That looks more beautiful.
Well, we might be able to keep both.
How many pages now?
We're still on 20?
21.
Well, this guy's blank.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Back to 20.
Right.
Okay, so that feels more analytical, right? Two photos showing analytical stuff going on. What are your thoughts?
I'm thinking of probably putting a graph, I mean, one of the graphs in the other page, or
We already
what?
have this guy over here.
Well, yes. I mean, one of the two photos that you just cropped,
Putting a where?
like the next page.
Okay. Something like this?
Yes, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, so I know this is messing up the text there. I can barely see what's going on, but we'll worry about that when we get to it. But yeah, breaking up those photos, that is going to help just break up the reading a little bit.
Yeah.
I actually am probably going to reverse that. I'll bring that guy over here, and I'll take that guy over. That's probably going to make more sense to the readers. I'm just thinking I know what those two are representing. Okay, so now that's good. Let's move in. And like I said, I'm going to write about 10 pages today, and it's going to flow with this whole 5-paragraph essay style. And even each paragraph alone is going to be using the 3.8 paragraph style, where you have an overview, then a point 1, point 1 description, point 2 description, and you do that until you get to the 8th sentence and you have a closing. Now, I don't personally write exactly like this, but if you're wanting to get into content writing, this is a great structure per paragraph, and then the 5-paragraph essay is a great structure per point that you're making, per entire transport.
Okay.
So let's zoom in a little further and bring up just one page of this guy. Okay, so what I do in my head also as a writer is I come up with, well, what do I want to do? How far do I want to get today? Do I have enough food around me? And yeah, I think I'm good. I probably got to get some water in a bit.
Okay.
And I was looking at the notes going over, because we do have some other people helping on this. So let's go and look at their notes. Look at their grant writing. Let me zoom back out to a good level. Okay. And what I'm going to be looking for is, where can I place this inside of this document? They wrote the word overview on here, but I just don't see any area that we need an overview. What I need is an exact replacement for this area right here. That's what I asked for. So let's see if we can find an exact replacement. So that would be about our organization. I would say that's this paragraph. So before I drag it over, I just want to read it here to see if I agree with what it says.
Yes.
And see if it kind of matches. So the Dow Learning Institute is a 501c3 NGO based primarily. So primarily is a weak word, so let's just get rid of it. And based, headquartered in Ohio, USA. Since this one is for the Ohio area, I think that's going to... Headquartered isn't a word? Really? Headquartered. Nope, it likes it now. Okay, so headquartered in Ohio, USA. We envision to create. So envision and create are kind of the same, so we're going to get rid of that. So also, when someone writes this, you usually want to steal copy and steal content instead of writing content. So let's go online and let's look at the actual website of Dow Learning. Let's just see, what can we steal from here? So we can definitely steal this. We can steal this. We can steal this. And here, look at that. We even have one for the Mid-Ohio Valley. So I think that's a great one to steal. If I can't copy it, which is annoying, if you're not very techy, you can just, go back over here and keep going back and forth as you write things down. But I'm going to do an inspect element on
Yeah.
this, and I'm
Sometimes
going
do
to
that.
find it this way. So here we go. So I'm going to copy that, go into OneNote, and I could paste it in right here. And I don't like that it's all that color. So I get the formatting tool and I change the color that way.
Mm.
We provide training in microbusiness operations in hub zones as we focus on tried and true methods while sharing innovative strategies for locals to thrive. The Mohawk Valley is a key place we have been involved in for the past 20 years, where we continue to teach the children, inspire businesses, and contribute resources for continued development. That is beautiful. Okay, so we're going to use that, and I'm going to put it in here and make sure it has the exact same stuff, and I'm going to put it on a new paragraph. I need to make sure this page doesn't go over down into the next page. That's my main goal here, so I don't want to really add too much. So now let's go back and let's see. I get kind of nervous that this was custom written and it wasn't using what we already have on the website. So my brain's not really wanting to use this at all. It's wanting to just go to this website and see what we can use over here. Yeah, like even this. Okay, the Dow Learning Institute has a purpose to advance education in a P to 20 initiative. We are a 501c3 headquartered in Ohio, USA. So this is looking good. I want to see what else we might be able to steal. So we didn't use this paragraph at all.
No, not yet.
Okay, so we already said this. We already said we have a purpose. Okay, so I'm just trying to see how I can rearrange this. Has a purpose to advance education in a P to 20 plus initiative. We use Steam subject, deemed necessary. We forecast this. Okay, so that's not bad. I feel good with this for even a final draft. And so for step 1, I'm okay with that, and I'm probably going to just move on. Okay, smile spaces in the middle have valley. And I know this was just copied and pasted from somewhere. So let's see what our helper put in our notes. So the smile, so it's not just the smile, it's called the smile method. And we always use that trademark symbol when we talk about it. I'm just changing the capitalization. I don't know why that's so tiny. I don't know why that's so big. So what I'm going to do, since it looks all weird, I'm just going to go over here, copy some of this, get my format painter, and I'm going to apply it on this whole paragraph. Because whoever wrote this might have been copying and pasting from all over the place. Okay, the SMILE method utilizes modern procedures to ignite curiosity for learning to remote areas with Hive mentality and our cloud-friendly digital platform. It's a little wordy. I don't like to have too many prepositions in here. I don't like, with, for, to.
Okay.
Those are called prepositions, and you can always ask yourself, should I end on a preposition or should I add an extra preposition? And I'm probably going to end right here because that sentence is already wordy.
Makes
The smile
sense.
method, blah, 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 utilizes modern procedures to ignite curiosity, period. And then, instead of the word for, we change it to a verb. We promote learning to remote areas. Now that's two different thoughts, and it's easier for the brain to digest. So little tricks like that really help a lot. Okay, so the SMILE method utilizes modern procedures to ignite curiosity. We promote learning I want to say distant learning. We promote distant learning in rural areas by utilizing Hive mentality and our cloud-friendly digital platform. Our smile spaces in the Mid-Ohio Valley, so this needs changed to capital, and then instead of future tense, we're never going to talk about the future. We're going to say that this is happening now. There's a lot more power with that. Consist of quiet and peaceful, and they're not going to be live-in education. We're going to have work, study, education centers. And then where, I don't know if that's an adverb, preposition. I don't know what where is. You know what? I want to learn it. Is it an adverb? Where is usually an adverb, but in some cases it can be a pronoun. Yeah, it's just an adverb. So with prepositions or adverbs, you can get rid of them and turn it into a new sentence, which again I want to do here. Look at how long this sentence is. It takes up all of that. That's not that bad actually, but when you're trying to teach somebody something, if it's a fictional novel, then you can be really wordy and people love that. But when it's nonfiction like this, it's usually best to keep it pretty simple.
Short.
Yeah. So our small spaces in the Mid-Ohio Valley consist of quiet and peaceful work, study, education centers, period. And then I'll say here, comma, students guide their own learning with the help instead of with the help. Okay, so let's look at that again, why I'm changing it. With the help. With is a preposition again. I'm just going to change this with a more powerful preposition. I'm going to change with the help to through. Well, let me undo that again one more time. Because it says with and then it says of. Those are also prepositions, two prepositions. And if you don't know prepositions, I definitely recommend preposition list. Common preposition chart. Okay, so all of these are prepositions. Some talk about place, position, direction, time, other. And knowing when and why to use prepositions really gives you a lot of power in how you write. So what I don't like about this particular one is it says with, which is a preposition, and then it says of, which is a preposition. I'd rather make it more powerful and change that, both of those, get rid of it and change it to through. And now look at the difference. Here, students guide their own learning through advanced technological tools. And look at the other way, with the help of advanced technological tools. It's just not as direct, not as powerful. Here, students guide their own learning through advanced technological tools. And innovative, well, I don't want to use the word innovative. Maybe we're fine on that. So let's just copy all of this. Let's go back to our document. And where are we? We're up here.
There.
Whoa. Okay. So Word is just dumb. You guys gotta fix that. So what I do to get rid of that problem, I get rid of just the inside, which is annoying that I have to do it this way. I get rid of the inside, I paste it in the middle of there, I change it back to the right format, and now I delete out this last word and I delete out the first word. That's just annoying. Come on, they're a $1 trillion company. You guys can fix your first product you ever came out with. Okay, so that might be too small here. but let's move on. Since it does look good, let's go ahead and move on to the next area. One more sentence. We have partnered with 5. We have created a hub site with 4 end user sites for this Smile Space initiative. Cool. Okay, focus past access the curiosity community. Well, okay, so I'm the one that did this copy a while ago with version 1.0. And so again, I like to steal off the internet. So focus past, that is all about, we have 2 sites for that, thefocushive.com. And maybe I'm going to find some text over here. Innovative business management. I'm trying to see anything I can copy. Ooh, there's a lot to copy. Okay, maybe that one. And maybe these can be all copied and put together at the same time. I found a misspelling on the main page. Well, we're going to fix that misspelling while we're here. What's it called? The Focus Hive. On the main index page, let's look for the word Excel. There it is, misspelled. Add an L in there. Save it. Go here. Say grammar. Come on. Push it online. So what do you think? Am I moving too fast?
So far, no. You can follow.
Am I not being inclusive enough?
I'm the student, so I'm learning.
All right. Well, we're recording this too, so it can be reviewed at any point.
Yes. Yeah.
I like what this says. Okay, so I'm not really sure. I see a few different pieces, but I haven't read them completely. I'm just seeing where we could copy and paste from. And that other one that we copied and pasted, where is it? Yeah, this guy that's already in here, that's also from the internet. That's from the Ignite Curiosity page. If we go to About, What We Do, it is down here.
Oh, okay.
So, okay, so let's go back to the beginning. All right, I don't need this page anymore. I don't need this page. I'm just getting my brain all configured. Okay, in version 1, we have partnered. I don't think that makes sense to people. Maybe if we could delete all of that or move it. The curiosity community, a focus pass gives students access to our curiosity community, which has over 10 business sectors. Period. Students can get involved in sectors of their choice or okay, it says we are currently building a reporting tool. We have that done. Yeah, this was written like a year ago. So our reporting tool is done. A focus pass gives students access to our curiosity community, which has over 10 business sectors partnerships with enterprise learning.
Environment.
What do you say?
Environment. I know. Okay.
Enterprise digital learning with enterprise software. That's fine. With enterprise software. Which has 10 business sectors and partnerships for members to access and learn enterprise software. I'm just going to write it fresh. Students can participate on their own through job shadowing, through experiential learning opportunities, and even build their network for career advancement. Our end user sites give access to this community where rural students gain opportunities usually which are unique to large cities. Our digital learning gives them exposure and builds digital literacy and technical literacy in the enterprise software used by Fortune 500s. This approach to STEAM education this new approach to STEAM education is a great okay, maybe this is too much, but I feel good with that. And honestly, I don't normally write in OneNote. I hate OneNote. This is just, it's prettier over here, so I normally just write over here. I think OneNote's great for students and if you're learning and if you don't want to mess up documents. But once you become a pro, just write it in your main document. Okay, that looks good. We definitely got more wordy up here. This one's tiny. That one got wordy. And this one gives me enough room. I can actually be just about as wordy as that one. Okay, so the problem with Instar, we have no copy written anywhere on it. So,
right.
So if I go to instarlab.org, I don't know, we might have just a few words. Yeah, like we can, that's actually a pretty long one. Instar Pioneers. So I just got rid of We Pioneer and I changed it to Instar Lab Pioneers, Advanced Scientific Research for Exploration Mapping of the Universe, Known and Unknown, with full transparency for public consumption. I feel like I wrote notes already somewhere on this. I remember students can get involved. Oh, that's where I wrote it. So maybe that's what's already written in there. Yep, it's the same thing. Okay, so this might be kind of good enough. Let's just read through it and go from here. And let's delete out this extra text. There we go. Okay, InStar Lab pioneers advanced scientific research for exploration mapping of the universe known and unknown with full transparency for public consumption. Students will be given the opportunity to work alongside scientists and observe their research. At end user sites. Students will use machine learning and data science curriculum built in partnership with local aerospace and manufacturing companies. Okay, students not only get a chance to use innovative hardware and software with us in our research lab, but we also make new discoveries that then get implemented into our smile spaces and built into our focus paths. Okay, so this part I can just delete because that top part, that looks good. Okay, so all that time, I don't know how long we've been recording now, but we got one page done. So, do you have any questions on it?
I don't have a question, but I have kind of a comment from
Yeah, let's hear it.
the last.
I'm getting some water.
Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening. I said I was listening. You didn't hear me?
Oh, sorry. From the last sentence, I suppose, under focus paths to access, it says this new approach to STEAM education is encouraging for students who live far away and who wanted to specialize, or what? Who wanted and who wants to specialize in technical education. Should, okay.
Technical
Skills.
Okay, so yeah, little tiny changes like that we're not really concerned about. Because even how I had it already written, it was fine. You're trying to make something what you think is perfect, but it's just an opinion. It's not necessarily a disaster if we don't do it. Because at this point, your whole brain should be thinking about, let's prevent disasters. Let's not make things perfect, just prevent disasters. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then if we're not exhausted at the end, we can say, okay, let's read through it and nitpick the smaller stuff. But most likely what you're going to find is you'll be like, no, I'm exhausted. Let's just leave it as it is. Okay, so now moving on. So this is essentially, if we zoom back out, we now have 2.5 pages to write on this area right here, and we already just kind of mishmashed our photos where they need to be, but now we just need to go in and write about it. So smile spaces in the middle have a valley. Okay, so we encourage learning from preschool all the way to career growth with a smile. In this method, students go through a 5-press process to encourage themselves, ignite their own curiosity, find inner passion. Okay, I like all of that, but I think I want a little bit more. Or maybe that's good with the layout. Okay, 1 hub site and 4 end user sites. Hub site in Marietta, end user sites in... Okay, that looks good. Going to ignore this. Okay, connected for the future. Alright, so this is talking about Pakistan. That definitely is not what we need. So, I'm going to show you guys another trick. I used the insert button on my keyboard. Oh, come on now. Word found proofing errors. Well, I thought I could hit that insert button. Maybe this keyboard's not working. Let's see what Google says about it. How to enable the insert key. Yeah, I just haven't enabled it. Oh, I formatted my computer a little bit ago. So I disabled it. Use the insert key to control overtype mode. Use overtype mode. So I have to go to Word Options and Advanced. So I have to go to File. Oh, here we go. Options. Advanced. Use the insert key. Use overtype mode. Okay. So now when I do that, and I click here, hit Insert. Insert. There we go. But where's my indicator that I'm even in this mode?
Right.
I don't see an indicator. Have you used overtype mode before?
No.
But you understand what it does? So
Neither.
Essentially, I like how this page is already laid out, and I don't want to add more information to it. I just want to replace information.
Yeah.
So whenever I use the overtype mode, it just writes over top of what's already in here.
Oh, okay.
So you see when I write?
Like overlap.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Whoops.
Makes sense.
Isn't that cool? Okay, but I don't want it like that. Okay, connected for the future. Well, I don't think I can... If I could steal this information, I would. I don't think there's anywhere to steal it from, though. Talking about the smile space. I think by the time I go and find it, since I don't even know where it is, I can already have something written. So we will create new curriculum that matches careers needed in the future. Based on our research and partnerships with enterprise industry. Our technical expertise in cloud computing. Alright, so I don't want to repeat myself. Like, I'm just seeing up here what else we're going to cover. So small spaces. Yeah, I guess I could talk about cloud computing up here and the innovative stuff. Small spaces. I got to talk about high-speed internet, what the centers look like. Okay, our technical expertise in cloud computing, business intelligence, and other aspects of soft skills all be shared with students at these spaces. Spaces, not centers. Existing instructors will be trained on new software and digital existing classrooms will be upgraded with new equipment and technical and IT. Our curated approach
Thank you.
I'm typing blind. Okay, their independent exploration. Did it get out of that mode? There we go. Okay, got 1.5 pages done. I just got an idea here, so I want to roll with it.
Yeah, it's okay.
Many families in the areas we teach have been farmers for centuries.
Excuse me for a minute.
All right. And to sing a hybrid lifestyle where they embrace the outdoors, agriculture, while blending in newfound appreciation for okay. So I got off track up here. We find those who come from agricultural background. Alright, so I want to get rid of that. Working remotely and studying remotely comes with many challenges. As small spaces are carefully designed with noise-canceling audio equipment, great ambient light, and bountiful.
Okay.
Create more access to STEM learning. Getting some more statistics. Percent of Ohio GDP agriculture. GDP by industry. Okay, it's not very much actually. Ohio 2008. So it's mainly finance, insurance, real estate, rental and leasing, then manufacturing. Agriculture, look at that. It's at the very bottom. Are you seeing this?
Yes.
Okay, so I want to add this chart in here too. Okay, so I'm going to delete this out. Then maybe move this guy down. Put this photo in. See if that's big enough to read.
It's small.
Too small?
I think this is, you're viewing it at 150%. Yeah.
Where? 150 here. Now I can read it.
Okay.
What to do? Gotta get him back up there. Maybe I can just drag him over. What do you think, boss?
A little. Can you try resizing it?
This?
Yeah.
Smaller?
Smaller, just a bit.
okay? What do you think?
I think it's okay. I mean, there's a balance from the top and the bottom blue lines. I mean, the sub page heading.
I don't need the word industry right there.
I think that's okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm almost done. I have one paragraph left, and then we are done with that whole transport.
Yes.
All right, so I'm going to do it. As noted in the 2018 fire figure, only 0.2%. I'm going to bold that. I wonder what California is. Okay, I feel good with that. What do you think?
Looks good.
Okay, I'm gonna crop this to get that line off the bottom. Or do you like the line there?
I would prefer the line.
You want to keep it?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pages done. Okay, so this next section talking about focus past, access the curiosity community. I need to get my space back to get my photos back over here. She says.
Yeah.
Okay. What's that? Upload failed. Are you in the document?
No.
I wonder if Rhubob's in the document. I wonder who's in the document. We're on page 10.
Yay.
Oh yeah. And another paragraph and I'm done with this whole transport. We move on to the last transport. Okay. Well, let's resolve this. Keep in my version. Conflict, you inserted this. Okay. Accept my change. I'm right. Look at this. Ooh, it wanted to capitalize it. Masters of Research. Yeah, I don't think I've talked to you about my idea of the super librarians. Have we discussed that?
I think like a passing talk. I think you did mention it in a way that we become librarians, like guiding these students.
Right. I don't think I used the word super librarian to you. And I don't know if we're going to keep that, but That's mainly when we onboard teachers. We're only going to hire librarians for these centers. We're not actually going to hire teachers.
Mm.
Because
Oh,
if you see the difference in the personality of a teacher and a librarian, teachers want to be the reason students are smart, where a librarian wants the student to be the reason that they're smart. And the
yeah.
librarian also just gets excited if they're just curious. Like if the student
Right.
says, I want to read about dragons, the librarian's like, okay, cool. Here's books on dragons. Go for it.
Mm-mm.
And a teacher might scold them for that. Okay.
Or
Or just
if it's a
bully them
teacher,
over and push them in the direction the teacher wants to go,
mm-hmm.
which I
Right.
don't
Yeah.
like. I'd rather the students, I mean, our world's so big, students can learn whatever they want. And as long as they're learning, it's going to be useful.
Mm-hmm.
As long as it's not video games or just sitting in front of a TV. Okay, so we're almost done. So the basic concepts of it is through this program that we can shift the real students into a strong workforce. Okay, so now innovation at our Instar Research Laboratory. I'm going to do it. So how much do I have to write here? So pretty much 2.5 pages on this sucker too. All right. I always spell this word wrong. Still spelling it wrong. Whatever. What, I was right the first time? Physicist. Okay. What do you think about all this? Did he fall asleep?
No, I'm still here.
Okay, so we have quantum literacy with Instar.
AI.
Okay, so yeah, you said AI. Let me add a few areas actually. So we
Was
have
it?
Interstellar, HoloLens,
Yeah.
and then I want to talk about, oh, come on.
The augmenting realities with HoloLens, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So, business automation. Okay, so we have Interstellar, mixed reality with Microsoft's HoloLens.
Yeah. Business intelligence, augmented reality. Research.
Maybe I'll make artificial intelligence on the next line. Whoops. And then we're done with this section. Okay. Have you seen some of the new photos done with just consumer grade cameras?
No.
If you look at Reddit astronomy, it's amazing. I think you'd get really excited over here. So people are taking photos like this just with their normal camera. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes.
And I want to teach this inside of our programs, how to use your camera to get this kind of stuff. And what's really exciting about it, it's not only that they have that, they will show their before and after as well. I look at this stuff every day. I'm trying to find a before and after for you.
What kind of
Don't they look
camera?
beautiful though?
Yes.
It's gorgeous. Any camera. You could do it with your iPhone.
Mm.
It's better if you have a nice DSLR camera.
Yeah.
Which we have. We have a lot of those already. So yes, what I want to do with the Instar is first I just want to ignite their curiosity. It's always ignite curiosity first. So when you could teach somebody that they can take a photo like this and you can get them excited like, wow, I'm the one that took that photo. Then after they learn to visualize it, you can actually take this photo into a machine learning software and it can break apart every single star in here. And it can figure out how old the stars are, by what color they are, how big they are, how far away they are, all of that kind of stuff. And that might take months of computer programming for them to build a machine learning model to do it. But there's a lot of other hobbyists that are online. And the problem with the science community right now, they are not honoring the hobbyists. And I want to teach these kids to be hobbyists first. Because 20 years ago, this is the kind of stuff NASA came out with. And now today, we can do it with a normal camera.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's just, we've learned more about just the normal settings on a camera. It's not like the cameras have even gotten better. We've just been playing around with it. And the knowledge, I mean, people all over the world are just taking these. It's gorgeous, isn't it? So that's what I'm writing in here. I'm saying we're going to do interstellar research and we're going to teach people how to take photos like this. And then we're also going to teach them how to put it into a computer and analyze it and compare it with other scientists' data. I just want them to participate on a very high level and realize they can do that even if they're out in the middle of, a farm field.
Yeah. It's very interesting. They could study the different temperatures of these stars.
Yeah, their movements. I mean, it might not look like much to us, but you can see the movement in here. And you could take photos over a whole month and you can track where they're going to as well.
Yeah.
So there's a lot you can do. I mean, with this kind of quality, I mean, you could do 20 years of research just with this kind of quality. I wish I could show you the before and afters. I see them all the time. I mean, every night before I go to bed, this is what I'm scrolling through. Not this particular page, but this is just one of the pages that pops up for me. See, I like this kind of stuff too. It's showing the movement of the stars. Isn't that cool?
South or north?
I don't know. I don't know if they're manipulating it either to get it to look like that. Come on, show me a before and after. And a lot of them are taking huge photos of, like, the moon. They will take 1 million photos of the moon and then they'll piece it all together. See, like, look at this guy. Exposure settings for an iPhone snap using eyepiece protection. So you could just go on here. You could tell them, hey, this is the model of the phone I have. Help me take high-end photos. And the people will, like, all comment and help you take amazing photos. Yeah, so, like, here is the moon, and That's
It
just,
says mosaic.
look at that. Just amazing quality. Isn't that insane?
Yes.
What do you say it said?
It says from the title a mosaic.
A mosaic. I think that means he
Mosaic.
pieced it together.
Yeah.
But this is just amazing. I mean, it's really something 10 years ago, even if 15 years ago, I guess, if NASA came out with this, we would be amazed by it.
Mm-hmm.
And now today, like, this dude's just sitting in his backyard. Like, Prabhuskudi, like, who knows? It could be somebody in a third world country. It doesn't have to even be like a super rich dude, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they break down how they get it too. Like he says, mosaic of this. He used this camera. It had 19 panels. I mean, they really help teach each other how to do it. So if we go and look at this camera that he has,
Mm-hmm.
you'll see it. I mean, you don't have to have super expensive stuff. So this one in particular is an actual.
$99.
How much? $299. Yeah, and you could do it with super cheap stuff. Yeah, I mean, even that price to get that kind of quality, that's just insane. But yeah, we already have all this equipment. It's just waiting for curious minds to use it. And also, a lot of these satellites,
Mm-hmm.
you can access their data anytime you want to. You can even get into a certain feed and say, hey, I want to use the satellite or I want to use the telescope. And you can remotely use the telescope. There's telescopes in Hawaii. You guys have telescopes there at OU. And
Yeah.
if you want it to be pointed at a certain place to capture the photos of it, you just work with that telescope crew, the astronomy crew, and they're very happy to allow enthusiasts to guide what's happening. A lot of the telescopes are controlled just by computers. They're not even controlled by people. So you can type in coordinates online and say, point it here, point it there, and then snap photos for this many hours. And you can build programs like that. So most of the people that are doing research, they actually aren't even right beside of these telescopes. They're in some far off lab somewhere else. So the people that are in remote areas, like in this grant, they don't even understand. They always feel sad, depressed. They're like, well, I don't have access to that. But with the internet, you do. You have access to everything.
That makes sense.
Okay, so I added more stuff I have to type in now. Better get to it. New camera technology and machine learning allow for incredible research done from personal computers and consumer-grade camera equipment. We have curriculum which teaches how to take astronomy photos, and
You're
then
editing it?
replacing. What do you ask? I'm editing what?
You're going back to your Word file.
Yeah, I'm on it right now.
Okay.
You don't see it?
No.
Maybe it's just taking some time to update for you.
Okay.
Where are you? Is it still stuck over on the internet?
Yes.
Interesting.
Okay.
You're on Word file now with me?
It went back to the... Okay. That's good.
Oh, I see. You're just delayed a little bit. All
Okay.
right, we have curriculum which teaches how to take astronomy photos. Existing data online to then perform data science. Once students feel confident with this, they can perform professional grade research. Nothing more than a smartphone and a laptop. this empowers a new wave of astronomy researchers in the rural communities with limited access can fully participate. As technology has advanced so quickly, so much that there are no longer boundaries for them. We take this a step further and teach machine learning algorithms to aggregate data and to create beautiful data science visualizations. Participate every step of the way. Mixed reality with Microsoft. Microsoft, the largest company in the USA. I don't think I need to say that. Has invested heavily into mixed reality and believes this is one of the pillars economy. Okay. So then cultural and tourism. Don't want that. I want to move on and talk about business automation. Okay. get hands-on experience with Dynamics 365, Twilio. Okay, artificial intelligence. Okay, done. Okay, so I think that's all I'm going to cover in this video. Once I get this done, for anybody watching the video, we will be uploading this to our other pages. We have DAO Learning, you go to Impact, you go to Technical Briefs. Once you go over here, so yeah, DAOlearning.org, Impact Briefs.html. Once you get here, you'll be able to find all the different briefs that we've built, and you can learn more about them. So this one will be put up there eventually when we're done. And
I'm looking forward to it.
but before we wrap up, I don't know if you were following along as I was writing that. I was getting in a groove, and yeah, I feel pretty good with it. I think it breaks it down a lot more. I feel I was trying to tell you like why we have a house on here, and I don't think it made sense before, but it definitely does now with how I wrote everything. But yeah, this feels very good. I just want to make sure that I didn't break any of the layout before I let it go. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit. So you have the layout broken a little bit here. So that's something we haven't actually written on yet. So since it's not written on, I'm happy just to delete it. we're back down to our 20 pages again, and we made it to page 12. So we're halfway done on page 12. Now we have to move on to talk about our timeline and our strategy. One thing I will do though before I quit is I'm going to just update my table over here. There we go. So now that's a lot more accurate on what we have going on, wherever that table of contents is. Yeah, so at least up to page 12, that's actually accurate. So what do you think? Any questions? Any comments?
For the content, well, I will look at it.
Okay. Ooh, I misspelled a word. I misspelled 2 words. I don't take credit for that. I think it did it, not me. Memorize. Guess it doesn't want that comma in there. Cool. So this looks good. It's all saved now. See, it says it's saving here. And the cool thing about how I work on this, I don't do anything on my own. I do everything in the cloud. So all the OneNote stuff that we were working on over here, anything I added here or changed, everybody can see this instantaneously as I work on it since I work in the cloud. And then the document that I'm making as well, people have access to it. Just like you said, you're like, well, I'll go and read it. Because, yeah, you have access to it. It's in the cloud. So that's a big difference I'd like to see people do too. Never do anything on your own personal computer. Always use the cloud and collaborate that way. So I'm going to go ahead and end my session over here. You can see it says it's ending. And then I end the stream, and that thing is